I want to talk to you a little bit about you like realizing your sexuality. And I know that you're very open about like you love everything and you're not putting yourself in a box. But some people don't live in LA or have parents that would be supportive and they're fucking terrified. And I feel like this song is just changing the game because it's like you're talking about a woman, you're talking about a man, and it's normal, and it's coming from Miley Cyrus, so you can fucking listen to it, and you can kiss a woman and you can kiss a man, and it's fucking fine.
And I like the idea that you kind of say it's normal, because I really think that normalization is like the first step to just feeling like fully that acceptance. And I think like not just for it to feel normal from the outside, but feeling like comfortable to you and normal to you. And so yeah, it was just like definitely writing it in the studio, even with, you know, some of my like peers, trying to kind of explain that to them why it was important, because they were like, isn't it kind of confusing? You know, like the pop structure is that the chorus says the same thing every time. So it like gets burned into your brain. So when you're at a concert and people get wasted, they're never like, wait, what does she say there? You really want it. There's like a formula. You know, I think everyone, whether you make pop music or not, know that there's like a pop formula. And this really goes against that by having this like gender swap in lyrics, because it, you know, in a way, it's challenging the system and challenging structure, which is what I always do.
I'm like, you belong to yourself and you can do whatever the fuck you want and you don't have to apologize for anything. And that lyric, I'm like, oh my God, Miley, like you fucking hit it.
And I was kind of thinking about that today, like even getting ready, because like before you got here, I had on my hoodie and like I had on my sweatshirt.
Oh my God, I'm a hoodie queen.
I had on my fucking leggings.
And now she has her tits out.
Now I got my, exactly. That was my next step.
What made you change?
Okay, so you were coming here and I was sitting like in my kitchen doing all my, I was kind of thinking about like what I would want to say, because like I usually don't have this freedom just to like really talk. That's one thing that I'm learning that I do dig about podcasts. It's like you can really actually get into it.
Yeah.
And sometimes like I do feel like on shows you got such a quick amount of time and like you're so censored that I don't always get out my full thought. So to my full thought is I was sitting in my leggings, my sweatshirt, and like really working, and then knowing you were coming here, I went and like got ready and I did my makeup in like 15 minutes, got everything done in 15 minutes. And I realized like something that I thought would be important to say was that I wasn't getting dressed for you, and I wasn't getting dressed for like someone to think that I look sexy. I was getting dressed for me. And I think that's something that's different. Now that I'm a little bit older, that changed. Like I think maybe that happened like through my last breakup. I feel like maybe since I was like 26, only in the last year have I felt like I always am doing what I want for me, because I don't think that there's been a period, which like I know isn't the most relatable thing to say, but there hasn't really been a period for me where I felt like super insecure with my sexuality. Like I've just been that way. Like I used to strip naked, completely naked in a Cracker Barrel when I was age of 3 and like roll around on the ground.
Oh
so
God,
that's just like that's just like who I am.
we love that. And America loved it when you did it more on like TV.
Oh yeah, so they loved that. They love that. So I was thinking about like, I guess in the last year has been really transformative, and we were talking about on the couch before we started just about like how I felt like this self-realization period that's going on kind of universally and culturally. I kind of started having that like over the past 2 years through a little bit of trauma, like physical, like my house burning down was like basically one of the most transformative periods of my life.
I can't even
imagine. Going through a massive breakup. And I just feel like one thing that I gained through all the loss is an idea that what I do is for me. And that doesn't mean that you're selfish. And that comes from like a lot of the guilt that you and I were talking about before we started this podcast also about like how much guilt that I feel like I've always had about feeling like I know how fortunate I am, and I don't really feel comfortable with that. I don't feel comfortable with my privilege. And I think the only way through it has been through a little bit of trauma.